Welcome back. In this module, we are going to discuss about the implementation of algorithms. Computer software designed to solve a particular problem is a set of computer programs. But before writing the program, it must be planned. Planning the logic of a computer program and then implementing that logic in some programming language produces effective software. Because it is the way of ensuring that each instruction of the program are appropriate for the problem and are in the correct sequence. Thus, we have to develop the logic of the program called algorithm first and then implement it using some computer language. Selecting the language. There are different programming languages available in which an algorithm can be implemented. The selection of the language depends on the following factors. Nature of the application. The language selected should be appropriate for the application area. For example, PHP is suitable for web-based application while VB is suitable for office automation. Familiarity with the language. If there are multiple languages which are suitable for the specified application, the language selected may be the one best known to the programmer. Ease of learning the language. If there are multiple languages suitable for the application and the programmer is not familiar with any of them, that language which is easier to learn may be selected. Availability of program development tools. Before selecting the language, it should be ensured that the language is well supported with good program development tools. If the language is equipped with good program development tools, coding will be easier. C++ program basics. In this section, we are going to examine the desirable characteristics of C++ as application development language. C++ is one of the most widely used programming language for real-world modeling. In any language, there are some fundamentals to be known to develop programs such as variables, functions, input-output, etc. Program construction. The C++ compilers take source code and transform it into executable files. The source files are text files with extension .cpp. Executable files have the .exe extension and can be executed either from within the compiler or directly from a DOS window. Here is an example for a C++ program. The source file is pgm.cpp. Hash include iostream.h. Int main cout my first program. Return 0. This program prints the sentence my first program on the screen. Functions. Functions are one of the fundamental building blocks of C++. Function name. The parentheses are the distinguishing feature of a function. Without parentheses, the compiler would think the function name as variable or some other program element. They are used to hold function arguments, that is, the values passed from the calling program to the function. The function will also have a return type. Braces and the function body. The body of a function is surrounded by braces. These play the role of a begin and end. A function body can consist of many statements. When we run a C++ program, the first statement executed will be at the beginning of a function called main. If there is no main in the program, the linker will signal an error. When running a C++ program, the first statement executed will be at the beginning of a function called main. The program may consist of many functions, classes and other program elements, but on startup, control always goes to main. Program statements. The program statement is the fundamental unit of C++ programming. There are two statements in the first program pgm.cpp. The lines cout my first program and the return statement return 0. The statements tell the computer to do something. Here, the first statement tells to display the quoted text. The majority of statements in C++ are identical to statements in other languages. A semicolon signals the end of the statement. In some languages like BASIC, the end of a statement is signaled by the end of the line. But in C++, if we don't use the semicolon, the compiler will signal an error. The last statement return 0 tells main to return the value 0 to whoever called it, the operating system or the compiler. The first line of the program, such as #include iostream.h, is called a preprocessor directive and is an instruction to the compiler. It is not a part of the function body and does not end with a semicolon. A preprocessor directive starts with a number sign, that is hash. The #include directive tells the compiler to insert another file into our source file. The #include directive is replaced by the contents of the file indicated. White space. White space is defined as spaces, carriage returns, line feeds, tabs and form feeds. These characters are invisible to the compiler. Input-output statements. Input using cin. The keyword cin is an object predefined in CPP to correspond to the standard input stream. This stream represents data coming from the keyboard. The shift is the extraction or get from operator. It takes the value from the stream object on its left and places it in the variable on its right. Example, cin temp causes the program to wait for the user to type in a value and the value is placed in the variable temp. Output using cout. The identifier cout is an object. It is predefined and corresponds to the standard output stream. It refers to the flow of data to the screen display or to other output devices. The operator shift left is called the insertion or put to operator. It directs the contents of the variable on its right to the object on its left. Example, cout welcome. Direct the string constant welcome to cout, which sends it to the display. Data types. Fundamental data types are those that are not composed of other data types. The fundamental or the atomic types are char to represent any character or symbol, int to represent an integer value, float and double to represent real numbers, and void to be used with any data types or sometimes to represent nothing, not even null. All others are based upon one of these atomic types. Such data types are known as derived data types. Derived data types are arrays, functions, pointers, references, etc. Arrays refer to named list of a finite number n of similar data elements. A pointer is a variable that holds a memory address. This address is usually the location of another variable in memory. Reference is an alternative name for an object. It provides an alias for a previously defined variable. There can be no reference to reference, no arrays of reference, and no pointer to reference. Variables are the most fundamental part of any language. It is a symbolic name that can be given a variety of values. Variables are stored in particular places in the computer's memory. When a variable is given a value, that value will be placed in the memory space occupied by that variable. Variables of type int are declared as int var name. For example, int a. Operators. Operators are tools for solving mathematical, logical, conditional and relational problems. It is a character that transforms a single or group of values to a resultant value. The operators are characterized according to the number of operands or values it acts upon. The unary operators mainly used are unary plus, unary minus, increment and decrement. The increment operator adds 1 to the current value and decrement operator decrements the value by 1. The different types of binary operators used in CPP are assignment, arithmetic, relational, conditional, logical, bit manipulation and assignment operators. The operators and their symbols are given below. Assignment. The assignment operator assigns a value to a variable. Arithmetic operators. The 5 arithmetical operations supported by the C++ language are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulo operation. Relational and equality operators. Equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Logical operators. Not operator. Not true evaluates to false. Not false evaluates to true. Logical AND operator. If the inputs are A and B, the output will be AND and B. If A is true and B is true, then the output will be true. If A is true and B is false, the output will be false. If A is false and B is true, the output will be false. If A and B both are false, the output will also be false. Logical OR operator. If the inputs are A and B, the output will be A or B. If A is true and B is true, the output will be true. If A is true and B is false, output will be true. If A is false and B is true, the output will be true. If A is false and B is false, the output will be false. Conditional operator. The conditional operator evaluates an expression returning a value if that expression is true and a different one if the expression is evaluated as false. Its format is condition, the operator, result1, colon, result2. If condition is true, the expression will return result1. If it is not, it will return result2. For example, 10 equals 6. The condition 4 colon 3 returns 3 since 10 is not equal to 6. Bitwise operators. Bitwise operators modify variables considering the bit patterns that represent the values they store. The operators are bitwise AND, bitwise inclusive OR, bitwise exclusive OR, unary complement, shift left and shift right. There are also some special operators like new, delete, scope resolution operator, etc. Loops. Loops causes a section of the program to be repeated a certain number of times. The repetition continues while a condition is true. When the condition becomes false, the loop ends and control passes to the statement following the loop. There are two types of loops such as entry controlled or pre-evaluated loops and exit controlled or post-evaluated loops. There are three kinds of loops supported by CPP such as for loop, while loop and the do while loop. For and while are entry controlled but do while loop is exit controlled. The for loop. The for loop executes a section of code a fixed number of times. It is usually used when we know in advance how many times we want to execute the code. The syntax of the for loop is for initialization semicolon, text expression semicolon, increment expression. The braces statements. The initialization expression. It is executed only once when the loop first starts. It gives the loop variable an initial value, the text expression. This expression usually involves a relational operator. It is evaluated each time through the loop just before the body of the loop is executed. It determines whether the loop will be executed again. If the test expression is true, the loop is executed one more time, else the loop ends and control passes to the statements following the loop. The increment expression. It changes the value of the loop variable, often by incrementing it. It is always executed at the end of the loop, after the loop body has been executed. The flowchart showing the operation of the for loop is given below. The while loop. The for loop does the execution of the body at a fixed number of times. If we don't know how many times the loop should be executed before starting the loop, the while loop can be used. The syntax is while test expression statements. In the while loop, Even though there is no initialization expression, the loop variable must be initialized before the loop begins. The loop body must also contain some statement that changes the value of the loop variable. Otherwise, the loop may be executed infinitely. The flowchart of the while loop is given below to illustrate the working. The do-while loop. The test expression in a while loop is evaluated at the beginning of the loop. If the test expression is false, the loop body will not be executed at all. But sometimes we need to guarantee that the loop body is executed at least once, no matter what the initial state of the test expression. In such cases, the do loop, which places the test expression at the end of the loop, is used. The syntax is do statements, then at the end while test expression. The keyword do marks the beginning of the loop. As with other loops, braces delimit the body of the loop. The while statement provides the test expression and terminates the loop. This while is more or less similar to the while in the while loop, but there is a change in the position of while. The working of do while loop is given in the flowchart. Decisions. Programs need to make one-time decisions. A decision causes a one-time jump to a different part of the program based on the value of an expression. In C++, decisions can be made in several ways. The most important is the if-else statement, which chooses between two alternatives. It can also be a simple if without an else part. Another decision statement is the switch, which can be used to make a selection from multiple alternatives. A conditional operator can be used in some special situations. The if statement. The if keyword is followed by a test expression in parentheses. The syntax of if is like that of while, but the difference is that the statements following if will be executed only once if the test expression is true, whereas the statements following while will be executed a number of times until the test expression becomes false. The syntax of if is given below. If test expression statements, else statements. The if statements can be nested or can be used to check multiple conditions using the if else statements. The flowchart showing the working of it is given below. The switch statement. If there is a need for a large decision tree and all the decisions depend on the value of the same variable, a switch statement can be used. Before entering the switch, the program should assign a value to the switch variable. This value will usually match a constant in one of the case statements followed by the switch. When a match is found, the statements immediately following that case will be executed until a break or the terminating brace is reached. The syntax is given below. Switch integer or character variable. Then case integer or character constant 1 statement break. Case integer or character constant 2 statement break, etc. Case integer or character constant n statement break. Default statement. The default keyword gives the switch construction a way to take an action if switch variable couldn't find a match with any of the given cases. The break statement causes the entire switch statement to exit. Control goes to the first statement following the end of the switch construction. The operation of the switch statement is depicted in the following flowchart. Implementing algorithms in C++. The algorithms we discussed earlier can be implemented in C++ using the different elements such as variables, operators and the control constructs like decision statements and looping constructs to execute the looping or branching logics. The sequential search. The sequential search algorithm searches for an entry in a list of elements. This list of elements can be stored in an array. Using for loop, each of these entries can be checked against a key value called item starting from the first entry in the array. The C++ program for sequential search is given below. Hash include iostream.h, void main in list of 25 int n item. See out how many elements you want to enter in array. C in n. For in I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Cout /n, enter the element I plus 1, C in list of I. Cout, enter the number you want to search, C in item. For I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. If list of I equal to item, cout item found at position I plus 1, enter. Else, cout no such item in the list. Output, how many elements you want to enter in an array? 5. Enter the element 1, 10. Enter the element 2, 54. Enter the element 3, 78. Enter the element 4, 79. Enter the element 5, 100. Enter the number you want to search, 78. 78 found at position 3. Binary search. If we are in a situation where we can't do the sequential entry by entry search, we start from the middle and compare the value at middle with the item to be found. If it is less than item, we can further divide the second half and continue the same process until we found the item. After completing the search, if didn't get the item, it means that the searched item is not in the list and the algorithm terminates. This can be implemented using the C++ language in the following method. Hash include iostream.h, void main, int list of 15, beginning, middle, end, I, n item. Cout the number of elements to be in the array, C in n. Cout enter numbers in ascending order /n. For I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus, C in list of I. Beginning equals 0, end equals n minus 1. Cout enter the number to search, C in item. While beginning less than or equal to end, middle equal to beginning plus n divided by 2. If list of mid equal to item, cout item found at position mid plus 1 exit 0. If item greater than list of mid, beginning equal to mid plus 1, else end equal to mid minus 1. Cout the item does not found. Output, the number of elements to be in the array 5. Enter 5 numbers in ascending order, 45, 56, 78, 90, 103. Enter a number to search, 90. Item found at position 4. In this module, we have discussed the features of C++ to implement algorithms. We conclude by implementing the algorithms sequential search and binary search in C++. Please try to answer the following questions. What characteristics are desirable for a good programming language? What is meant by functions in C++? What are the different types of operators supported by C++? What is the use of decision statements? What are the different types of looping constructs in C++? Books for your reference. J. Glenn Brookshire, Computer Science, an Overview, 10th edition, Addison Wesley. Robert Laffo, Object Oriented Programming in C++, 3rd edition, Galcotia Publications. Stanley B. Lipman and Josie LaJoie, C++ Primer, 3rd edition, Addison Wesley.